Welcome back, and today's the 4th of July, and our last sea day as we head back to New York. So we're off to Jamie's Italian.
Giovanni, Jamie's is the first time, no problem.
So I'm going to speak Italian, I hope you speak Italian, right? I don't either speak.
Jamie's English.
We'll put a link below for the rest of this series, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing, as we have plenty of new ship content coming in 25. We have previously done Giovanni's before on Wonder, but as you'll now see, the service and food here in Jamie's on Symphony was fantastic, and we would definitely recommend you consider it.
So both are we going to share the meat plank?
Yeah.
We have that only.
Sure.
And then I'll have the penne carbonara.
Penne carbonara?
Please.
Thank you, Ma'am Shara. Any sides for you?
I'll have the chopped broccoli.
Broccoli little spicy, is that okay? Thank you, Ma'am Shara. Yes, please, Mr. Martin.
Have the green linguine
Sure, linguine bone.
and side fries.
Thank you.
Sorry. I'm taking a video.
It's an ultimate meat plank platter for you. This platter represents the whole Italy. Have you been to Italy before?
Okay. And this is San Daniel Stoffido, which is from the northern part of Italy. So Adriatic Sea is next to that. The seas are go there and it got salted and sun-dried automatically. Only particular region will come. And have pistachio mortadella, which is from Bologna. It's a cooked meat in the pan, in the plate. And have Tuscan fennel salami, which is more flavorful, aromatic. We have the coco picante, which is spicy because they infused paprika on it. It's come from Puglia region of Italy. This one is spicy, it's starting from the back rib until back neck until the fourth rib. It's going to be equal shape. You see both meat is equal. The dots and the lines and all equal. And I have Catta di Musica, pecorino sorbesi, cheese with chili jam on the top. Crostini with caponat, olive and sunday tomato caponat. A freshly baked focaccia from Central Italy. I have bocconcini cheese from Naples and gaeta black olives and Marmouth green olives. So make a side and enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
French fries. I got some Parmesan cheese for your pasta.
Bananas for you.
Cheesecake. Enjoy.
Oh, thank you.
So, after all that delicious food, it's time for a rest, and we're off to the afternoon show of Aqua Nation. These world-class performers are truly outstanding.
I'm Symphony swimmer and I was in the international team of Russia.
Guys, my name's Jason, I'm a dancer. Happy 4th of July, everybody. I'd like to shout out every service member, veteran, active military. Thank you. My name's Hunter, I'm one of the dancers, and I graduated high school and started working here. And we are the cast of Aqua
Every Aqua show on any of the Oasis class ships will always leave you impressed by their sheer talent. Unfortunately, it's time to pack our cases as we're ready off to celebrate at the 4th of July party. Well, that's it for this cruise, and we love Symphony. We'll soon be on Oasis taking our good friends on their very first cruise, so please come along with us, and we are even more excited to be sailing on Icon of the Seas in 2025. As we don't fly back to the UK until this evening, I wanted to make the most of the day. We have booked a guided tour around New York prior to heading to JFK Airport.
Thank you.
The excursion through Royal cost us £190, and we would have paid most of that for a taxi from New Jersey, so it seemed like a no-brainer to us.
Good morning. Elevators to your left, escalator straight ahead.
We were actually quite surprised they didn't cancel this tour, as there were only 4 families in total, so we pretty much had the guide to ourselves.
There she is, there's a Statue of Liberty here, right.
We thought this would just be a couple of hours drive-through tour, but much to our surprise we got time at different locations to spend time walking around.
And then right over here, this is one of the premier high schools in New York. This is called Stuyvesant High School. The top 3 high schools in New York are Stuyvesant High School, Brooklyn Tech, Bronx School of Science. And that each student, it's open to the public, but each student has to take a test. And it's a very strict test, and they say that only 10% of the students who apply end up coming here. And many of them go on to become scientists and engineers and doctors and so forth.
Those stones, that is the newest part of the memorial called the Memorial Glade. And
To remember the people who have subsequently died from 9/11 related illness.
Our first stop was time to look around the 9/11 Memorial.
Okay, we're going to stop here for a moment. Now what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to turn, I'd like you to look straight up. Just look straight up for a second. Now this, the way that they designed it, they wanted it to look like that the building has no end.
The guide was very knowledgeable. It was a great way to learn so much about New York as we spent the day with him.
We were building up when we...
Now number 1 World Trade Center number 6 used to be. So there is now 6 World Trades, but there is no World Trade Center number 6.
Our guide also explained, if you look at the planting of the trees from one direction there is order in a straight line, and the other direction it's abstract, and this represents the calm before and the chaos that was left in the aftermath. Something our guide shared with us and we weren't aware of was as you look up and you see the rectangle slots towards the top of World 1, those floors are completely empty, as that marks the height the planes crashed into the Twin Towers. Now it's back off on our tour of Lower Manhattan and Wall Street, where we see Alexander Hamilton's grave before we head through to Chinatown and off up to Rockefeller.
And see, there's people standing there, people taking pictures of the bull from the front and also from the back. And right over here, this is a lot of these are the shipping lines. This right here on the left is Bowling Green. This was a park that was built originally for the Dutch, 1733, and then eventually the English took it over. This gate that surrounds it has been here since the American Revolution. And then right over here at number 1 Broadway here, and on the left-hand side, this is the old U.S. Customs House designed by a man named Cass Gilbert. This is a memorial to those who perished during the Titanic. So take a look to your right, you can see the old cobblestones, you get to see the old shipping area right here on your right. And this is the old South Street Seaport. And right there on the right, this is Bound & Company Stationaries, which is one of the old... Take a look to your right, and that is the Brooklyn Bridge right here. And Emily Roebling, who was the first woman to get credit for building a bridge. And now we're in an area... This is Doyer Street, one of the old streets in Chinatown. And the oldest street in Chinatown. Right over here on the right, this is Bryant Park right over here. Straight ahead of us would be Central Park. We can't go inside Central Park because we got a coach, but that is 843 acres of landscape park where you see all the trees straight ahead. Rockefeller Jr., who was the only son to the wealthiest man in the world at the time, John D. Rockefeller Sr.
Now we have time to explore around Rockefeller's, famous for the huge Christmas tree and ice ring in the winter, and a great place to see Central Park from the top of the rock.
TV show Today, every morning, the Today Show. And if you ever saw the movie Devil Wears Prada, there's a scene where Miranda, who's played by Meryl Streep, comes out, storms out, and gets into her limousine. Well, right here, this is where the front door to her office was in the movie. Now we're going to be coming through Times Square. Times Square is probably one of the busiest places on the planet, in the world. There are more people on the streets of New York and around Times Square than there are in some small towns. Get upwards of 500,000 people in this neighborhood. It gets crazy. So we're going to drive through now and drive by, take a look at what they call Duffy Square. All these people lined up to do a double-decker. That line for the double-decker. Yikes. And coming up on the right-hand side, this is where you buy half-price tickets to Broadway shows. And there's the staircase that goes to nowhere. And all these people are lined up to get tickets. This is called Duffy Square, named after Father Duffy, who was the chaplain during World War I. There's also a statue here of George M. Cohan, who was a famous vaudevillian. And now when you get down here, you see all the stuffed animals. There's the famous naked cowboy. You can toot the horn and see if he'll... he's been there for decades. Also, it's right here where this building is. Here's where they drop the ball on New Year's Eve. And we'll make a left-hand turn here on 42nd Street. As we're making the left-hand turn, look to your right. You're going to be looking down famous 42nd Street. Madame Tussauds Wax Museum is there. Central Terminal. Now Grand Central is the train station that runs underneath it, and that's where the subway is. You can always check your luggage and then get on the air train and go to Terminal 5, where they have the TWA lounge and hotel, which is an old, it's all refurbished to look like the 1960s.
That was definitely better than we expected. We learned so much, and sadly that rounds off our time here in New York on a brilliant cruise aboard Royal Symphony of the Seas. I'm sure we'll be back again. Until next time, New York. Now it's off from JFK Airport, flying back into Manchester.